Welcome to Sugosha Media News. Today is 8th of August and here are the top defense, aerospace and strategic technology developments from India and around the world. India's defense and space sector saw major developments as Safran Data Systems expanded its Bangalore facility for sovereign space missions. Pawan and Noemi Aerospace advanced plans for an electric seaplane network, and the Defence Ministry cleared a €9 billion submarine deal awaiting CCS approval. India successfully test-fired the Agni-4 ballistic missile, while the Army moved to procure 150 extended-range BrahMos missiles worth 10,000 crore rupees. France submitted its final proposal for the 3.25 lakh crore rupees Rafale deal with local manufacturing, and the Department of Space announced 30 to 100% subsidies to boost private sector space activity. Globally, the US Army awarded 4 contracts to expand Hydra 70 rocket production, and the US Air Force approved long-range DJAM JDAM production, and BAE Systems secured a £135 million Royal Navy torpedo support contract. News in detail. Safran Data Systems has inaugurated an expanded facility in Bangalore to localize the production and support of high-end telemetry, tracking, and command systems. Strategically, this expansion caters to the surging demand from ISRO and private players for satellite data receiving stations and flight test instrumentation. This signifies Safran's transition to in-country value, providing localized mission-critical support for projects like Gaganyaan. By securing the data processing backbone domestically, India reduces mission lead times and de-risks its strategic space and flight testing infrastructure from global chain in fluctuations. Pawan has signed a strategic MOU with Norway's Noemi Aerospace to explore the deployment of electric seaplanes for regional connectivity. This partnership focuses on the ALU electric aircraft targeting zero-emission transport for coastal regions like the Andamans. This represents a disruptive leap in the regional connectivity scheme as electric propulsion slashes operational and maintenance costs by nearly 40% compared to traditional turboprops. It provides a low-noise, high-efficiency solution for ecologically sensitive zones, positioning Pawan as a leader in the global transition towards green aviation infrastructure. Defence Ministry panel clears €9 billion submarine deal. With the empowered technical group of the Defence Ministry clearing this deal, the Cabinet Committee on Security can consider clearing it in the near future. The ETG had to decide on several issues, including the transfer of technology involved. The Mazgaon docks in Bombay will build 6 ThyssenKrupp submarines for the Navy, and the technology will be transferred and will be valued at 5,000 crore rupees. Medium-range ballistic missile Agni-4 was successfully test-fired from the Integrated Test Range Chandipur in Orissa on 6th of August. The launch validated all operational and technical parameters. The test was carried out under the aegis of Strategic Forces Command. It developed by DRDO, Agni-4 is capable of carrying both nuclear and conventional payloads. The missile is a 2-stage solid propellant system with a payload capacity of 1,000 kilograms. It is launched from a mobile tandem launcher, which allows rapid deployment and enhances survivability against preemptive strikes. Agni-4 employs a 1.2 meters diameter managing steel-cased first stage and a roughly 1 meter diameter carbon fiber cased second stage. These generate average thrust of 710 kilonewtons and 39.5 kilonewtons respectively. The missile uses an inertial guidance system equipped with ringed laser gyroscopes and flex seal thrust vectoring systems, enabling precise orientation control during flight and ensuring high accuracy targeting. Indian Army is preparing for a major leap in its long-range precision strike capability with plans to procure 150 extended-range BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles. According to sources, the deal, valued at around 10,000 crore rupees, is expected to be signed in November, with induction likely to begin 4 to 5 years after the agreement is finalized. The BrahMos ER missile is an upgraded version of the existing BrahMos system, offering a substantially higher strike range. This enhancement will allow the Army to engage strategic targets deep inside hostile territory, significantly improving operational readiness along international borders. Two public sector undertakings are expected to be key beneficiaries of this deal. Bharat Electronics and Bharat Dynamics together account for nearly 70% of the manufacturing share in the BrahMos program. France has formally submitted its final technical and commercial proposal for India's 3.25 lakh crore rupees Rafale fighter jet acquisition, marking a decisive step towards contract signing. The deal will see 94 jets manufactured in India with sovereign guarantees, technology transfer, and indigenous weapon integration, while 20 aircraft will be delivered directly from France to meet urgent operational needs. The government-to-government deal, valued at 3.25 lakh crores, will include sovereign guarantees and extensive technology transfer. The proposals are now under review by the Defence Ministry's Acquisition Wing and the Air Force. Under the French offer, 94 Rafale jets will be manufactured in India by Dassault Aviation in partnership with local companies. This will establish a full-fledged fighter aircraft production line in India, with indigenous content expected to rise to at least 50% over time. Dassault will lead localization efforts supported by Safran for engines, Thales for avionics, and MBDA for weapon systems. Indian companies like Tata Advanced Systems, which already has an agreement with Dassault to manufacture fuselage and major components, are expected to secure a significant share of the work. To meet immediate operational requirements, 20 aircraft will be delivered in flyaway condition from France. These will add to the 36 Rafale fighters already in service with the Air Force and the 26 naval variants ordered by the Navy. The Navy is also considering acquiring more than 30 additional Rafale jets for carrier operations as its MiG-29K fleet approaches retirement. This would take India's Rafale fleet to well over 200 aircraft, making it one of the largest operators globally. The Department of Space has introduced two new financial incentive programs through InSpace designed to accelerate private sector participation in India's space industry. These initiatives, known as the Launch Service Price Support Scheme and the Price Support Scheme, provide subsidies ranging from 30 to 100% on launch cost, technology transfer, Earth observation data, and the use of ISRO facilities. The schemes are intended to reduce barriers for startups and non-government entities, enabling them to access advanced infrastructure and services at significantly lower cost. The Launch Service Price Support Scheme specifically targets small satellite operators. It extends launch incentives for satellites weighing up to 100 kilograms on PSLV, GSLV, and LVM-3 missions. Under the scheme, private firms will receive a 30% subsidy on contractual launch cost or up to $3,000 per kilogram, whichever is lower. The measure is expected to make India's launch services more competitive globally and encourage domestic firms to develop and deploy small satellite constellations for communication, Earth observation, and scientific applications. The price support scheme complements the LSPS by focusing on broader infrastructure and technology access. Running for 3 years until February 29, it aims to reduce the cost of utilizing local space infrastructure. India is undergoing a defense transformation with 3 pillars: the revival of the indigenous Kaveri 2.0 fighter jet engine, the Indian Navy's ambitious expansion to a 200 warship fleet by 2035, and the successful testing of the 1,500-kilometer range long-range hypersonic anti-ship missile. GTRE has revived the Kaveri 2.0 engine after decades of setbacks. The upgraded design has achieved thrust levels of 81 to 83 kilonewtons with full afterburner capability. Engineers have reduced the engine's weight from 1,235 kilograms to around 1,100 kilograms, with further optimization targeting below 1,000 kilograms. Advanced materials like single crystal blades and polymer composites, along with digital twin modeling, have accelerated development. The engine is expected to power future Tejas Mark 1A upgrades, unmanned combat aircrafts, and eventually the AMCA. This revival aims to end India's dependence on the imported GE F404 and F414 engines, which have faced delivery delays. Currently operating around 150 vessels, the Navy has nearly 50 more under construction. Recent inductions include INS Mahendragiri, a Nilgiri-class stealth frigate under Project 17A, and INS Malwan, an anti-submarine warfare craft. Project 75I will add 6 advanced submarines with air-independent propulsion, while Project 17B promises next-generation frigates. Indigenous aircraft carriers such as INS Vikrant and planned nuclear-powered submarines will further strengthen India's maritime posture. A $88.4 billion maritime revival package aims to position India among the world's top 5 shipbuilding nations by 2047. The third pillar is the LRASHM hypersonic missile successfully tested off Orissa in May 26. Developed by Advanced Systems Laboratory of DRDO, the missile struck a target 1,500 kilometers away with precision. It uses a two-stage solid rocket booster and a hypersonic glide vehicle capable of speeds up to Mach 10. Its quasi-ballistic trajectory and atmospheric skipping maneuvers make it nearly undetectable by conventional radar. Equipped with indigenous active radar homing seekers, the missile can engage both stationary and moving targets, including aircraft carriers. This weapon fills a critical gap between the BrahMos supersonic cruise missile and strategic ballistic systems, offering the Navy a potent non-nuclear strike option. Limited production has already begun, with induction expected before 2030. Together, Kaveri 2.0, the 200 warship expansion, and the LR Asham hypersonic missile represent India's integrated strategy for defense modernization. In the global news, US Army has awarded other transaction authority prototype agreements to 4 companies in a bid to increase production for the service's Hydra 70 rockets, which are commonly fired from helicopters like the AH-64 Apache. The 4 companies, which will specifically supply the M151 high explosive fragmentation warheads for the rockets, are Firehawk, iRocket, Nemo Perry, and Albers. The awards also give the vendors the opportunity to improve the government-owned Hydra 70 technical data package. The US Air Force has approved production of a turbojet-boosted Joint Direct Attack Munition JDAM, offering a new long-range strike option for US aircraft, according to Boeing. The production deal was awarded as a $75 million undefinitized contract, paving the way for the Navy to receive the first kits for the precision munition dubbed the JDAM Long Range. The JDAM, which first saw combat over 2 decades ago, is a joint program between the Air Force and Navy that cheaply converts unguided bombs into precision munitions using a bolt-on kit, but the standard range was limited to a roughly dozen miles. BAE Systems has secured a $182 million contract to repair and maintain the Royal Navy's Spearfish and Stingray torpedoes, ensuring the continued readiness of the UK's underwater warfare capabilities. The 3-year torpedo repair and maintenance contract will begin in July 26 and run through June 29. The agreement covers the upkeep of Spearfish and Stingray torpedoes, which are deployed by Royal Navy submarines, surface vessels, and maritime patrol aircrafts. Spearfish serves as the primary anti-submarine and anti-surface weapon for the Royal Navy, providing guided capabilities to address a variety of threats. The torpedo is currently in the final stage of a major upgrade program intended to improve its guidance, warhead, and tactical functions. Stingray, manufactured in the UK by BAE Systems, is a lightweight acoustic homing torpedo used for anti-submarine warfare. The Mod 1 variant, operated by both the Royal Navy and the Air Force, can be launched from frigates, helicopters, and patrol aircrafts against submarine targets. The TRAM contract will directly support 150 specialized technician and engineering roles, including 100 from Portsmouth, with a further 50 across Edinburgh, Chelmsford, and the area near Glasgow. A quick wrap of today's news. Safran Data Systems expanded its Bengaluru space facility. Pawan and Noemi Aerospace advanced India's electric seaplane network, and the Defence Ministry cleared a €9 billion submarine deal pending CCS approval. India successfully test fired Agni 4 and moved to procure 150 extended range BrahMos missiles worth 10,000 crore rupees, while France submitted its final 3.25 lakh crore rupees Rafale proposal with local manufacturing. The Department of Space launched 30 to 100% subsidy programs for private space firms. And globally, the U.S. Army awarded 4 Hydra 70 production contracts, U.S. Air Force approved long-range JDAM production, and BAE Systems secured a £135 million Royal Navy torpedo support contract. At Sugosha Media, we turn complex defense and aerospace developments into clear, actionable insights. From interpreting defense policies and facilitating market entry to navigating offsets and strategic partnerships, we help organizations transform strategy into execution within India's evolving aerospace and defense ecosystem. Follow Sugosha Advisory on LinkedIn to stay informed with the latest insights and become part of the conversation driving India's defense and strategic landscape. Our focus is clear: to bridge policy, technology, and business, enabling organizations to convert regulatory knowledge into sustainable growth and long-term opportunities. We look forward to partnering with you in shaping the next chapter of India's defense and aerospace ecosystem. Thank you.